a lot of times that's what will happen is people get desperate at the end and then they start putting 50% off or, bonus this or whatever. And all these people that paid full price up front are like, you mean I could have just waited until the last 48 hours and I would have got 50% off. So you definitely don't want to do that.
You are the well-being wisdom warrior, the heartfelt healer,
the luminary leader,
the health harbinger,
the shaman, the witch, the guru,
the guide of humanity to an embodied, enlightened future.
Welcome to the Well Pro Show, the podcast for wellness pros,
where your wellness lifestyle is your core leadership strategy.
Experience the camaraderie of collaborative colleagues,
where your job as a wellness pro is to guide the transformation.
You are the resistance, the future, the way forward.
You are the community counselor, the change maker.
The Well Pro Show, brought to you by futurist thought leader Kate Stillman and the team at Wellness Pro Academy. Made for you, by us.
Hello, everyone. It's Kate Stillman with the Wellness Pro Academy, and I'm here with Lauren Donahue. And we're going to talk about how to launch your wellness retreats or festivals or events or workshops or whatever you want to call it when you get face-to-face in the same room with your people. So welcome to the show, Lauren. I'm really glad that we had a chance I'm glad that you followed up with me after Consumer Business Summit. And I'm glad we have a chance to just rap about your expertise.
Yeah, I would say so many things are all about the follow-up and the follow-through, right? And so it's really cool that we connected through that. I feel like that's for everyone listening, watching as well. Is there someone that you haven't followed up with or followed through on a commitment or closed a loop? Because you never know where it could lead to. And this beautiful conversation is where we are.
Right. It's like all these people from this past weekend at Teton Yoga Festival. So let's talk a little bit too about how, for people that are wondering, should I try to speak at someone else's event or become part of someone else's event, or should I do my own? So if we just start with how should I structure where I'm going or what I'm doing? How do you advise someone in that?
I think the first thing I would say is there's so many people who want to speak at other people's events or get onto stages or podcasts or things like that. And it's just not happening yet for them. And in that case, I say, do it yourself. Throw your own workshop, throw your own retreat, start your own podcast, start speaking on your own platforms, and you bring in other people and other facilitators. And in that, you're going to get asked in return, right? So if someone has a podcast, you bring them on, they might ask you to be on the podcast. If you bring them onto your stage, they might bring you onto their stage. So I would say just start with yourself first if it's not working out the way that you want it to. And starting by also serving others, like giving them a platform, giving them a space, inviting them into your community, your audience, and things like that. And then there's reciprocity there. People want to then help you connect, all that kind of stuff. So I would say start with a service mindset. And also, if it's not happening yet, start it yourself.
Yeah, I love that. Or even start it with a group of friends and do it together. So one of the things about that, right? I think one of the first places people then get afraid is when they have to put up some money. Because we've had a lot of people lose money on events, especially in the last few years, but even before then. I remember when I first lost money from booking a retreat and then realizing that my people weren't ready to go to Mexico. It was years ago. And it was when there was a lot of sort of US fear around Mexico. Yeah. I think it was maybe 2012. It was kind of way back. So how do people navigate that? How do I start to put the deposit? If I'm going to do my own events, I'm going to get a couple of my homies together. We're going to do this together, but we're going to need a space and we're going to need to it's everything, right? Need a space, rent the chairs, bring the drinks, all the things.
Yeah, I would say the biggest mistake people make when they're doing something for the first time is they don't give themselves enough runway, enough time, right? So it's, some people can put together an event in a month or 2 months, 3 months, but I would say if it's your first time, maybe it's a year, maybe you have 12 months of runway so that you're not last minute desperate trying to get people there, offering up a bunch of discounts and things like that just to get people there, but you actually have the time and space. But then you also don't want to, because you have the time and space, forget to talk about it and forget to promote it until it gets closer to that time. So I would say give yourself a big runway, give yourself 12 months for a first retreat or a first big event. Definitely. I would be planning it 12 months in advance. And the other thing too, with retreats specifically, you can market and promote and sell them before you have the space. If you just know the area and it's like, okay, we're doing this in Sedona, right? And then see how many people you get signed up and then plan accordingly. Instead of booking the house for 18 people and having this huge overhead, maybe you get 4 people, which is awesome. If 4 people say yes to your experience over all the other ones that they have to choose from, that's incredible. And that's a great place to start. Then book the house, right? And then book the accommodations and the chef, and then put up more of the money, but actually generate some and have the money up front. So you're not out the money. You already get the money and then you plan accordingly. And that's kind of your budget based on how many people signed up.
I love that. It reminds me of, I don't know if you remember back in the digital marketing days, the early days of lead pages, which was like one of the early opt-in tools. Clay Collins, he started that company. He launched this thing, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago, called the pre-sale formula. And that's how I launched Yoga Health Coaching, which later became Wellness Pro Academy. It was like, I didn't build anything. I just launched it, sold the tickets, and built it with them. You know, and it was online. It wasn't an in-person event. It was an online experience. It was a year long, but it never, it's never fallen away. That like, let's launch and sell the thing and then build it. So I'm really glad to hear how to bring that into event spaces. Like first, just like sell the tickets and then decide where it is and what you're going to do accordingly. Yeah. It's so in reverse, isn't it? How most people think.
I know. And I think that they think they have to have the exact photos and it has to be this exact thing, right? And I think we've lost transparency and honesty, right? Of like, hey guys, this is my first retreat. I don't know how many people are going to sign up. I'm really optimistic. I'm really excited about it. We have an incredible lineup. We have these awesome workshops. This is what it's all about. Here's the vision. But I don't know how many people are going to sign up. So I'm actually going to get the house and book the house after I know how many people are coming. So fast action, I'm going to add a bonus coaching session for those of you that sign up early, and just keep your energy high and excited, right? And they're going to want to come on that journey with you because they see a real person who's being transparent, who's being honest, who's being raw and vulnerable. And they probably want to support that person, especially if they've been following along and consuming a bunch of free content and love what they're putting out and just want to be around that person. And so I think they would like love that more than, okay, I booked this huge place. Now I have desperate energy. I'm just trying to get anybody in there, but I'm pretending like it's filling and, oh, spots are filling up when no one's actually booking, right? And there's all these different energies that will repel people away. So I think it's like being really honest with like, especially when you're doing a first launch and you're just not sure how it's going to go, because even people who've done many launches, many retreats, events and stuff, there's still one, you know, every once in a while a flop, right? They put something out there and it just doesn't land. The messaging, it just doesn't resonate with people and they're not looking for that right now. And so even people who could get 50 people at a retreat might not have one person sign up, you know, and like, so those kind of things happen. And so I think just the bringing the realness and the transparency to all of it as well, and bringing people along on the journey.
Yeah. So pricing, if someone has an upsell, because in Wellness Pro Academy, like everyone has an upsell, because that's what they're in the Wellness Pro Academy for, is to launch their club. So usually their events will be like member plus one, or like, you know, somewhere where you can bring a friend and the friend's not in the club, but you're in the club. And then they can also market it to prospects. They can even give away tickets to prospects who might be a good fit for the club, or they can sell the ticket to his prospect. And then if they join the club at the event, they get the tuition from the event back.
Yeah, I love that.
Right. And so that with that, what do you think pricing should be like? Because to me, there's this level of when people meet me or at an event with me, they're 10 times likelier to become a club member, whether that's that weekend or whether it's in the next 12 months or 24 months. And because I'm in it for the long game, to me, that's just like a winning strategy, just to have more people have exposure as opposed to make more income from the actual experience. So the 2 events I'm doing this right now, I offered my time for for free. I'm like, don't pay me anything.
Yeah.
I just want goodwill,
Yeah.
and I want to be of value to your event. So I'm completely satisfied with showing up and giving it all I can, and just seeing where it goes. So tell me some of your thoughts.
I think that that's a great strategy, and it's going to be dependent on each individual's goals. Like, what is your goal with this? Are you wanting retreats to be your main income? Is this your main generator and you're going to do 4 to 6 per year? And then what are your funnels leading into that? And I think a lot of times a funnel leading into that is a free 1-day kind of teaser of what the 4-day retreat would be like, or the other experience would be like. And so you're kind of just figuring out what works with your audience, and whether that's an in-person 1 day or a virtual 1 day. And I also, with my clients, I'm like, go speak on as many stages as possible and do it for free. As long as they're like, yeah, you can share what you have coming up, and you're able to quote unquote sell from stage, whether that's online or in person. But yeah, like most of my clients have come from free speaking engagements or me going to other retreats. I go invest in other people's retreats and show up and just connect with people. And then it's like they start following along, and then they see, oh, she has a retreat. Cool. And then people come from that. So like you said, just being in the world and being around people, the majority of our clients and our clients' clients come from in-person interactions or speaking, where they get to feel your energy and feel into you and see what you're about. So I'm all about doing the free stuff, because I think it's all reciprocity and it all comes back around anyways in the end. So yes, I think that's great. And then as far as pricing for events, specifically, again, if it's an event that this is your main income for the year, yes, you're going to want to charge for that. And that's going to be based on all of your expenses. And then what do you want to make for your time? So how I help people figure out pricing, whether it's for a workshop, an event, a retreat, is what is your hourly rate? And then how many hours are you actually going to spend on this, right? So if it was your hourly rate's $100 an hour, and you're going to spend 100 hours planning this retreat. So you got to think about all the time and hours leading up to the retreat. Then you're at the retreat, and that's 4, 5, maybe 6 days of your time, because you have your prep time and your posts. And so it's like, okay, that's 6 days. How many hours is that? Plus you might have some post-retreat things to wrap up. So say it was 100 hours. Well, then you'd want to make $10,000 on that retreat. And so you want to add that as your top line, and then all of your expenses. And then you have a total. Here's everything together, divide it by how many people you want to be there at the retreat. And that's how you price your retreat.
And that's assuming zero expenses, right?
And that's assuming what?
Zero expenses. That's just accounting your time.
That's just your time. The 10,000 would be the 100 hours times your 100 per hour rate for 10,000. That's just on top. Then I'll add all of your expenses, have your total number, divide that by, if you have 12 guests, 20 guests, 50 guests, and that would be how you would price it out.
And with the wellness pros that you're coaching on retreats, like how are a lot of them running? How are they filling their events?
Yeah, so there's a number of ways, and it kind of depends on who the wellness pro is, or just who the person is, because we also have real estate agents, nurses. We have all kinds of people who are wanting to put together wellness events for, like, for example, nurses. Nurse yourself, right? Give back to yourself. You're always pouring out. Let's pour into you. Real estate agents always serving. Let's like take a moment and take a pause from the busy lifestyle and drop within. So there's different ways. Some people have a big audience online. Some have no social media. They don't even have a handle on social media. They don't have an email list, right? So it's like sometimes, like for real estate agents, it is in-person events. It is them going and speaking and being in front of people. And also, just like it works in the real estate business, word of mouth and referrals. So you do one smaller event, 6 to 12 people, and then you have them go all tell their friends. So bring a friend to the next one, right? And then you double it, and then you can triple it. And that works really well. So yeah, there's some clients that are fully strictly word of mouth, just like maybe they are in their coaching business. Some are promoting online. Some have a really successful monthly newsletter, and they're able to send out that one newsletter, and that fills out their retreat. So it's various ways, and it's just dependent on who is this person and what kind of resources do you have? Do you have a network online? Do you have an email list? how many events could you speak at in this amount of time? And we kind of reverse engineer how many people. It's a numbers game at the end of the day. So how many eyeballs are going to see your lead page or your landing page or your sales page? Okay, so you need to speak to this many people to get 12 people at your event, or you need to speak to this many to get 1,000 people at your event. So really at the end of the day, it's like 1 to 2% conversion. So, right, how many eyeballs need to see this? And then how many times do they need to see it? So it's like, are you sending, personal text? We have people that have sent personal text and that filled out personal voice memos, filled their retreat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I find that works way better. The DMing and the one-to-one. If they've seen it one-to-many, then follow up one-to-one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So let's just break the math down there. So if you want 12 people at your retreat and 1% are going to convert, so then you multiply 12 by 99.
Yeah. What is it? Do you know?
Well, it's about 1,200, right?
Yeah, I was thinking 1,200 would be like, yeah.
It's about 1,200 people need to see it. So then then you'd need a 1,200 person email list. Now, if you want 100 people at your event, right? Now we're going to put an extra 2 zeros on that. So we would need over 100,000.
For 100 people?
Sorry, 10,000. And then if we wanted 1,000 people at the event, we would need, over 100,000 people to see it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good little equation.
Yeah. And that's where you get into other people sharing, like other influencers. Are you going to do affiliate marketing? What other friends can share about this? Or if you're working with brands, are the brands willing to share about it? So we create graphics for the brands that are going to partner with us on the retreats, and they have really big followings and they share that out with their network. And these are people in the wellness space that love wellness. Why wouldn't they want to go to a wellness retreat, right? And especially they see that they're partnered, they're aligned with these brands. So that's another really great way, is to align with your brands. And even what we'll do too is IG lives. We'll go live with, the founder of this brand and ask them questions and learn about it, whatever. And then that also notifies their audience. So now they're seeing this interview and what's going on. Oh, okay, they're having a retreat. So that's a really great way, is you want to think about all the different ways you can get new eyeballs, right? Because if this is your first one, nobody knows you've done this. There's no social proof. If you've done 100 of these, then all the people in your network have been to one or many of them. So then how do we expand the reach?
And since COVID, with all the events getting canceled, and then everyone like now doing more events because more people went online, it seems like there's more, I don't know, it seems like there's more events in general.
Yes.
Now, do you know of any data or stats or just a sense of like what's happening for wellness pros in particular in the wellness retreat or wellness festival in-person space? And just to give us a sense for people, both how competitive it is and also what the price ranges are for if we just leave out food and lodging. Okay.
So I know that once everything shut down, the online space blew up for a period of time until people were burnt out. They're like, quote unquote, zoomed out, right? And they're like, okay, that's enough. I want to go back into. And so if you started early and first as doing the first in-persons again, very successful, easy to sell them out because nobody else was doing it. And then once everyone saw, okay, everyone's doing it again, now there's a plethora, especially I live in LA, there's probably 4 wellness events a day happening just in this area that people can go to. So there are a lot of different things going on and the prices vary. There's a ton of free stuff going on. If it's a brand with a big budget, they're doing it for free because they just want brand awareness and they want eyeballs and they want to build community. But then if you have some people, just your everyday people, they're charging, and depending on the event, $47 to $250 for a wellness event for a couple hours. As far as retreats, that's going to be dependent on the location. Is this international or domestic? How many people? All of that kind of stuff. So I would say those range from $2,000 to $5,000 or $6,000. For a wellness retreat.
Is that including room and board, or is that's just the ticket price?
That would be all inclusive. So the only thing that I wouldn't include would be their flights and travel. So everything else being included with that. And then I'm sure there are some people who aren't doing all inclusive, where it'd be like more of like a $997, but then you have to get your own accommodations and your own food and travel. So that ticket right around $1,000 for the experience and the workshops is something that I've seen a lot of recently. And then there have been some different like TripAdvisor. I know there's some data, I don't know the exact, but it is trending where like wellness in general, wellness retreats, things like that is going to be at the top here in the next 3 years. Like it is something that right now people are seeing. There's also this, I would say, sober trend thing happening where people are like, they're going to stop drinking and they're doing these challenges and things like that. So in general, I feel like the wellness industry is trending toward the top of like, that is what.
Yeah, I definitely read it in the 2023 market trends, like wellness travel is way up.
At the top. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when people are trying to, again, I'm just going to go back to like, if you want to reserve a retreat center or something like that and bring your people to whatever, Mexico, Costa Rica, over in the next city, town, state, whatever.
Yeah.
And if it is all inclusive, what, like, again, with like the pricing for most people, is it like half of the ticket price goes to room and board and the other half goes to the event?
If they're doing the pricing the same way that I discussed, about, okay, this is your hourly, maybe someone's hourly is 50, maybe someone's is 100, maybe someone's is 300. So it's going to kind of depend on that, what they're charging, but still it's going to be that amount plus the other stuff. I have a client who's headed to Costa Rica now on her honeymoon, and that's where she's going to host her retreat in March. So she's kind of getting the lay of the land. How much is everything? What's all included? And for the most part, for them, everything is included besides their flights. And it's around $3,500 to $4,000. And it's 7 days. And that's including excursions, experiences, activities, food, and changing actually hotel locations and accommodations and things like that. So that's kind of like an idea of.
And then how much will she make per person of that 3,400?
So she's probably going to charge more than that. So she'll probably charge 4,500 and she'll have 10 people. So she can make the 10,000.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
So that's it. She'll just add 1,000 to the actual cost of it, which she's thinking is 3,500. And then she'll have 10 people. She'll make the 10,000 because that's her goal. But we're also going to value stack coaching with that. So there's probably going to be the option of 6,000 or 6,500. And that's going to include 2 coaching sessions on the front, 2 on the back, or a 3-month accountability container mastermind. So she is probably going to increase the total price to value stack something with that so that she could make closer to 3,000 per person.
Yeah, right. So just for the wellness pros listening, like if you're doing it that way, then and your upsells the club and they get your profit of the retreat reduced from that. If your club's 5K and you get 6 people from your club from the event, then it's a 30K upsell. Okay. I think that's super helpful. Now let's talk about messaging, because I think one of the things that I've seen repeatedly is like just the number of times people need to hear and find out about something, often the number of sort of deals or promos, reasons to buy along the way, and that there can be real fatigue, I'd say, from the leader's side, with like they get kind of sick of their own event before their event starts. Yeah, what's your advice there?
Yeah. First, choose something you really, really, really love that you could talk about every single day without getting sick of it. I love coffee. I drink it every day. I never get sick of talking about it or drinking it. So choose something that really, I would say, that has a why that makes you cry, that like really means a lot to you, that people get to experience this and the impact and have a life-changing experience, a like pivotal moment in their life. So something that you care that much about, that you would talk about that much, is the first thing that I would say. And then what was the second part of the question?
Yeah, just how to counter like the fatigue of messaging and the long haul, like you said, of like you have to keep at it. You have to follow through. Like you sell tickets up until it starts, right? Like
there's another piece to that, something that you said outside of that has left my mind. But
just the continual promotions or reasons for people to sign up now versus then, or sweetening the deal, bonuses.
Yep, that part. So I don't do early bird specials. I used to do those. I don't do early bird, but I do fast action bonuses. So for people to sign up sooner than later, right? I might throw in some coaching sessions. I might be partnered with a brand where they get some shoes or journals or things like that. So it's like sign up by this date and you get 2 coaching sessions. Sign up by this date and you get shoes and a journal. Sign up by this date, you get a journal. And so the bonuses start to go away. So that's, again, one of those reasons, like we talked about in the beginning, how do we get people signed up ahead of time so you have more cash in the bank and you're not desperate in the end trying to get people in there. A lot of times that's what will happen is people get desperate at the end and then they start putting 50% off or, bonus this or whatever. And all these people that paid full price up front are like, you mean I could have just waited until the last 48 hours and I would have got 50% off. So you definitely don't want to do that because and then you're also kind of training your client and customer to know like, hey, we actually sell out early. Like we sell out months in advance versus having spots open 48 hours before and let me just wait so I can get the discount when they're trying to fill it. So I think that that's another really important thing. And yes, being locked into your messaging, being so clear that anybody who asks you about it, because people are going to ask you when they hear you have a retreat or event, oh, what's it about? What's going on there? Like, how can you say that very concise, almost in 1 sentence or 2 sentences where people get it? And so you're so locked into your messaging that you kind of embody it and you breathe your messaging and it goes with you everywhere that you go.
Love it. I love it. I love fast action bonuses and what you get extra from everything right there. The messaging is great. So with I have a question about, we have an event in Mexico. I tend to do events like right outside my door.
Okay.
Even though I live in places that are fairly inconvenient to get to, they're just really gorgeous. So people enjoy being here and being because most of the people that are coming are quite deep members or fans, followers. There's just a deeper connection to place. So in the past, what we've done is kept ticket prices, not including room and board. That it's just like, and then we give a lot of details. But the feedback that I've received is that having, an all-inclusive ticket that explains all the things would be helpful for certain people. And then people that are like very travel savvy and want to save money, that we could keep doing it like the current way. So a ticket could include. And so if I'm looking at this for Mexico next March 1st through 3rd with my event, do I just put a deposit on a place for, let's say, like, I don't know, let's say there's like a 4-bedroom house. Is it something like that? And then how much more would I charge for facilitating the nightmare of the experience of like making sure that like there's, I know with customer service that there's a million things that can happen when you offer more customer service. What are your suggestions there?
How many people do you want for that?
We typically get 25 to 40 people from that. I don't know this year. I'm guessing it'll be 30 to 50.
Okay. And you're saying get a 4-bedroom house.
Like just for the people, like just to try one until that sells out and then rent the next one until that sells out, like kind of go that way.
Yeah.
So one idea.
Start smaller, fill it out. And it's like one of those things, good problem to have. Okay, that's filled out. So we'll get another one. If there's enough interest, okay, how many more people before I book this next one want this all-inclusive option? Great. If they're committed and they've paid, then you get the next place. But then you could stop it at some point so that there isn't logistical stress. And from then on, we only have, 20 spots available for all inclusive. And once those sell out, then you're going to be on your own for the room and board. Like you'll find your other location. Then you're going to have to, rent a car to get there or however that's going to look. So that could be incentive for people to sign up. That's your fast action bonus, is that you have this opportunity of room and board. Then you have about half of the people who, because I feel like everything's 50-50 with people. Some people like structure and they want an itinerary. Some people want full flow. So then that kind of gives them that. It's like, well, if you sign up by this time, you're the structure people. You're the ones that want this all inclusive. And then after that time, this is what we have available.
Well, I also find they find 2 really different price points. Like some people really want to spend the extra money and some people really want to save the money in my crew.
Yeah.
So I think they would both be available from the from the start, but that one would just be like, well, because especially with Mexico, it's we'll pick you up at the airport. That causes a lot of people stress.
Yeah.
Of like, everyone's going to be speaking Spanish. They have certain ideas about what Mexico's right, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So there's just anxiety.
Yeah.
I think decreasing that. And then what would the markup you would put on room and board be? Like, is there a typical formula for like cost plus markup?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be, again, based on what are the expenses of that place. And are you having a chef and including food, or is food on their own as well?
So in the actual event ticket, if we keep that at one price and then add the room and board at another price, that's already included in the event price for the Mexico event.
The food is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, I think it would just be, well, what is the actual cost of the space? And is there like other things that like come with that, where there's going to be a cleaning fee and there's like just different things that are going to have to happen? I would just add that on to the ticket price. And
you wouldn't add another 10% or 15% for dealing with the logistics? Because I just know from my customer service team, like it's going to increase their logistics. Yeah.
For logistics, 10 or 20%, how much ever they think that's going to take to facilitate that type of experience. Right. Because I don't know if you have someone who's like also there checking them in, getting them to their rooms, making sure they have what they need in that like experience. Because in our experiences that are all inclusive all together, we have someone that welcomes them, gives them a welcome drink, takes them to their room, gives them their gift bag and their goodies, shows them around to give them the lay of the land, and then is just there for anything that could happen. Right. So, the toilet's clogged. There's this person that helps with the toilet clog.
Yeah.
Just different things that are happening. We need wood for the fire. So there's someone that's kind of managing that whole space and making sure there's flow and everything's being taken care of. So there would be the markup for that.
Maybe I would include that in the cost, right? And then the markup on, like markup on top for dealing with the hassle rather than it be break even.
Yes, definitely for the logistics and the time. Because again, it's just, what is the time that's spent, right? Well, what is the hourly? Yeah. That would be your markup.
Okay. I think that's helpful. It's helpful even just to sort of think through it.
Yeah.
Okay. Last question. I'm thinking of piggybacking. I had such a great time at the Teton Yoga Festival, which is in my neighborhood. And it's such a pain for people to come all the way to Alta, Wyoming, where I live on the west side of the Tetons, for just a 48-hour workshop. So that my thought was like, why don't I just piggyback off theirs next time so people could do 3 days of the yoga festival and then either before or after come for 48 hours with me just up the road. And my guess is if I did it after the Teton Yoga Festival, we might pick up a person or two there.
Yeah.
Is that, do you want to talk a little bit to piggybacking events and working with event leaders to get a reduced rate for bringing a group to an event, or any other suggestions?
Yeah, that's something that even I was telling my client who's doing her honeymoon. And then I was like, along the way, find out how many things, like for these places, will they give you a discount? Will they give you a free room because you're bringing X amount of people into the space? With all the activities, can they give you a discount because you're bringing X amount of people? So I would say anything you're doing where you're bringing them business, you can always ask for something, whether that's a free something, whether that's a discount. I would always ask for those type of things. I think piggybacking that and going to the event, like you said, you'd probably get some people. I think that's the thing that people dismiss the most, is the last 48 hours before your event. That is when a lot of people sign up. We had an event for 50 women recently. We had 20 people signed up until 48 hours before, and we had 30 people sign up in the last 48 hours.
All local? Like a one-day local, or what was it?
Local-ish, maybe like a 2 to 3 hour drive if they came from San Diego or from up Santa Barbara or something like that, Orange County. But like around, there was a big group that came from Orange County that signed up the day before. And there were some people who were like walk-ins. They like found out about it and they just showed up and paid for their tickets in person. So there's like this huge thing. And even with, and people are like, oh, cool, for like a one-day event. Sure. I have had someone sign up for a retreat in Hawaii the day before. And the thing is, I'm that person. I sign up for things the day before. So I know there's other people out there like me, but you just don't write it off. And if you have the space, and you had that one spot left for your retreat, like don't stop talking about it. don't stop sharing about it. I have a retreat Thursday, and today's Tuesday. I went to a dinner last night, and 3 people from there, and we don't have the space, all were like, it's this weekend, I want to come, right?
Oh my
And
gosh.
they would literally sign up. That's the thing. So it's like, do not discount the last 48 hours, whether it is a retreat that they have to fly to, or if it's an event in person. Keep talking about it, keep sharing, and don't give up. Don't like have that energy of defeat or giving up. Stay energetic, stay abundant, stay excited, and you'll be really surprised at what you can call in. So I'd say, yeah, like meeting people at the Teton Festival and all that. It's like talking to all those people. You could get 10 or 20 people.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to pitch right now. So we're having a Jersey workshop, and I'm even giving away free tickets. And it's, I just put it in the Facebook chat, you guys. The website. I'm going to demonstrate here.
Yes.
This is how it's done. The go.clubthrive.global/Jersey-free. And we're on Long Beach Island, 48 hours, a breakthrough. And it's September 26th to 28th. So yeah, that's such, and I think we do, my team especially, we're usually like 6 weeks out and we're like, we're done. So that's really important for us to hear of. It's like, no, go, 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 go until it starts.
Yeah. I just like, I think it's like leaving money on the table. You just, why wouldn't you? Like, if you do have the space and openness for more people to come in and walk in, and we had an event in Venice. There were people walking by, and 5 people came in and paid for tickets and came into an event, a wellness event that day. They were just walking to like the grocery store, and then they came in and stayed for the whole event, 8 hours.
Wow. Amazing.
So it's like, stay open.
I love it. Do you want to tell people about Retreat Launch Formula and where to find more information?
Yes. So Retreat Launch Formula is something I started in 2017. I'd been hosting retreats for about 10 years at that time. And people were wanting to pick my brain and ask me a bunch of questions. How are you selling these? How are you getting people there? How are you making money? Right? Because so many times retreat leaders, facilitators, event coordinators, you go home with a full heart and an empty pocketbook. And so I wanted people to go home with a full heart and a full pocketbook. And because it's possible, right? And also because when that happens, full heart, full pocketbook, you're going to keep doing it and not give up and not quit. And I feel like quitting on people, it's a huge disservice, and there's so much more impact that could happen in the world. And it's not happening if we give up and quit because we didn't make money on it. So I think that that's so important. And so as my brain was just getting picked over, I thought, oh, there's actually a formula to this, and there's actually a process to this. It's probably about 8 weeks of coaching, do an hour call a week. We'll go through all this, the business basics, making sure it's legal. That's a big thing that people kind of skip over, especially in the beginning, all of the logistical things that aren't fun, but it's very important to get into place. And then the mindset that I'm talking about right now of like not giving up, like, go those last 48 hours, you've got this, all that kind of stuff, and getting into that space. Because a lot of times people, if they're not sold out 6 weeks in advance, they want to cancel. Oh, we should cancel. I don't think anyone's going to sign up, right? No, we're going to follow through with this because there are people out there that need this and want this. They just haven't heard about it yet. They haven't seen it. The people that you think are seeing it, I will have people that are, oh, when's your next retreat? And they follow me online and they're my friends. And it's like, oh, it's tomorrow or something like that. Oh, I hadn't even seen it about it. Right. So sometimes people just aren't seeing it, but they are interested. So really going the distance with that. And then we get into brand partnerships, marketing strategy. How do you get brands involved? How do you get brands to pay you to be a part of your event, to not only just send you product, but also pay you, and how you facilitate those relationships and build those relationships, and what are the deliverables? What are you going to give them in exchange for them paying you to be a part of this? So we go over all of that. And that's it. It's a retreat launch formula, and it takes people basically through the whole process: planning, pricing, promoting, and selling out their transformational retreats or event.
Okay, I love it.
Yeah.
So lastly, before it was like January 2020, and I was about to sign a contract. I'd already signed one contract with an event planner, and I was about to sign another contract with a big hotel in Scottsdale. Oh, you probably know it, the Scott.
Yeah.
Do you know the Scott?
Definitely.
Yeah. for HealerCon. And I was going to bring in all these healers. We were going to have different sense rooms and and I was going to do the wellness business training at it. And I got scared for good reason. And it didn't happen. But one of the things that I'm curious about with something like that like with the right partners, the right vendors, et cetera, to do a HealerCon would be a bit of an investment, right? And is it one of those things like, do you still go to like get your core posse together of who would, not necessarily of members, but of other presenters who would also be willing to invest? And then are you seeing that happen more where it's like, instead of it being one person's event, it's like a hub comes together of a bunch of small businesses that want to rise together?
Yeah, I think it just depends on where are you at, right? Do you have the money to put it up? Do you want it to be your event? And I think this is a really big thing to talk about, because when it becomes not your event, but 10 people and you're all investing, then 10 people have to be able to communicate and decide on things together. And it leaves a lot of room for one person to be upset, and you see things completely differently and the vision of how you want this to come together. And it might, at the beginning, you're all excited, all 10 of you, and you're all putting in $10,000 each. And it's like, we're going to be able to do this together. But as it starts getting time to make decisions, and some people want to, let's give out 20 free tickets and they all share it or whatever. And then the other person's like, I don't want to give any free tickets out. That's not the strategy I like. Everyone has to pay, right? And so then what can happen is, again, talk about the energy is, now nobody wants to talk about it. Now nobody wants to promote it because nobody knows what they can do or say. It's like, they're kind of like, when I say this, so-and-so gets upset. When I say that, so I'm not going to say anything. Now nobody's talking about the event. So I think that that's something that you really have to think about if you're wanting to go in on something with everyone, versus this is your event, you're the decision maker, and you're bringing in 9 of your friends to speak and be a part of it and to promote it. And in return for their promotion, they get commission. So if they want to talk about it a ton and they get 100 people, then here's what they're going to make. If they don't want to talk about it, they get 2 people, whatever, right? So then it's, everyone knows that they're looking to you for the decisions of like, who are you hiring for each of these things? What is the budget? How are we spending the money? How is everything coming together? But you have 9 other people who are like in it with you. They're a part of it. They're going to be speaking there. They have a platform that they're grateful, and they can make commission on their sales. So it just is going to be really dependent. They could be your best friends and you think that you know them and you get along so good as friends, but when you get into business, you see a whole different version. So I would just be very careful about.
Well, it sounds like contracts, right? It's like the contract in the system needs to be really clear before the partnerships are offered.
Yep. And even when there are the contracts.
Even still it goes sideways. All right.
Yeah.
Good to know. Oh, it's been fun talking to you. I've had such an interesting day. I finally got my How to Scale Your Wellness Business in print on Amazon just before we got on. Yeah. So for people who already have a retreat business and are looking more for the like club upsell and how that works, that book explains it. Yeah. I'm so glad we had a chance to talk. Anything else you want to mention?
I think that's it. Yeah. If there's anybody who wants to host their first or has hosted, but they weren't profitable and they want to go through the process, we can go through Retreat Launch Formula. They can contact me. I'm sure there'll be like notes on where to find my Instagram account. You could reach out to me there and I can give more information. So yeah, I think that's
it's Lauren L. Donahue on Instagram.
Yes, exactly. Yep. And then we have Rise Wellness Retreats. And that's, and our website's Lolly Coffee. Like I said, I love coffee. I have a coffee business. So all of the coaching and retreats and all that stuff is found at lollycoffee.com.
And that's LALEIGH coffee.com. Awesome, Lauren. I'm sure my members are going to love this. So nice to hang, and let's keep in touch.
Yes. Great to see you. Have a good day.
You too.
Are you a podcast listener ready to guide your wellness business to more profit? We have an exclusive offer just for you, introducing our Unique Abilities Profit Consultation. Sign up today at wellnesspro.academy/unique. Don't miss this opportunity to unlock your profit potential. During this personalized consultation, your expert coach will guide you to discover just how much money you're leaving on the table from an outdated business model. Say goodbye to trial and error and hello to tailored guidance that leverages your unique abilities. Your success coach will work closely with you to create a winning strategy that aligns with your strengths and vision. Don't let the challenges of running a wellness business hold you back from more profit any longer. Up-level your leadership with our actionable strategies. Overcome hurdles. Receive innovative solutions. Take that crucial step towards building the profitable wellness business you deserve. Schedule your free Unique Abilities profit consultation today. But hurry, this exclusive offer is only free for our valued podcast listeners. Don't wait. Unleash your unique abilities and unlock your true profit potential. It's time to make your mark in the world of wellness. Sign up today at wellnesspro.academy/unique. Namaste and have a great day.